We have 10 seconds to full readiness.
Diverse markets. She is passionate about talent development, creativity, and the future of experiential marketing in Africa. A computer science graduate of York University, she also holds executive certificates from Wharton, IESE, and Columbia Business Schools. Eunice is widely regarded as a thought leader, speaker, and industry mentor within Africa's creative ecosystem. Please welcome with me Mrs. Eunice Adeyemi. Mrs. A, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm truly honored to be here.
We are the ones that are honored to have you. Before we go on, let me just tell the audience something. I need you to share this link right now with your friends, colleagues, co-workers, people that you believe will enjoy this, because you're in for a ride. Mrs. A is loaded with years of experience and so much to share with us today. Let's begin.
Yes.
So, when you look at the Nigerian event industry today, what excites you the most about how far we have come?
What excites me the most is the fact that we're telling stories about our culture now. And for me, that is very exciting. So we're no longer just doing decorations in a hall. We're telling our stories through brands, through experiences. We are actually telling our stories. And it's phenomenal when I see it in the market.
Interesting. So if someone asks you right now to describe the evolution of the event production industry in Nigeria in one sentence, what would you say?
Okay, so that's hard.
Okay.
I don't think I could do one sentence. You're asking a lot out of me.
Yeah.
But if I could borrow something that would speak it in volumes, for us, by us, FUBU. And I'm sure you know the brand.
I like that.
But for us, by us. Right now, what we're doing is the ecosystem are talking about us, for us. It's by us. But the difference is now we're sharing it with the rest of the world. And that's how I would describe it now.
Interesting. I like that. For us, by us. FUBU. I think it's just right.
Right? You asked me for one sentence, so I tried.
It is. So you spent 25 years in creating experiences. So what has kept you passionate through the years?
So I wouldn't say 25 years of creating experiences, right?
Okay.
So, after university, I did project management, and then from there moved on to doing HR. So I've had that experience within the corporate world. But now that I've been creating experiences within Q21 for 17 years now, what keeps me still constantly grounded and excited is the factor that we are evolving.
Yeah.
So Nigeria has so many different personalities within the market space, right? We've got amazing culture to begin with, and then we've got different personalities within each one of those cultures, right? And it's forever changing. And I'm always excited, and my interest is piqued when I see something different, right? About a culture evolving or somebody's lifestyle changing. I'm interested in that. So it keeps me constantly looking for something new within the space that I could actually provide as a service to them.
I like that. So let's dig a bit into the woman behind the brand. Let's do that. So looking back, did you always know that you wanted to build experiences, or did the industry find you?
So did I know, or did the industry find me? So it's a bit of, well, it's a mix, right?
Okay.
So I grew up in a house with 4 sisters, no brothers, 4 sisters. And I have one sister who's an amazing cook. I have one that's a great baker. I have one that is the event helper, the one that organizes things, and then the one that's lazy. So there's 5 of us. And somehow in the midst of the 5 of us, we were able to do different things. What I now know as creating experiences, even from playing Nintendo growing up, it was just fun. We're changing and we're alternating. We're playing with our cousins in the house. We're trying to figure out, okay, so who's going to cook today, or what meal are we cooking today, or what dress up are we doing? And please note, as girls, it did not mean that we're always playing with toys and we're playing with dolls. No, it just meant that we were always together and we were always doing something very different. And from that, I think I could say that's where the beginning of creating experiences came from. Because as girls in the house, there was always something that happened. And so for me, that was, I think, was the beginning. Now, great thing is that my journey through the corporate industry has now then been afforded me the opportunity to be able to then be exposed to what people then called events. But as a child of a Nigerian parent, you cannot tell them that you're doing events. It's not possible. Even now, if you tell them, they'll be like, are you sure?
Exactly.
Right? But it was from there and the opportunities that I had that I was now realizing this would be an interesting thing for me to actually do. And it evolved by that, down that path.
Okay. Nice. So, what was the defining moment that made you realize that events could be a worthy platform for culture and storytelling?
Wow. Okay. So I'll talk from. I think there wasn't really a defining moment. There was an experience and an opportunity that was given. So our very first event ever at Q21 Solutions was Tony Elumelu sent forth from UBA. And phenomenal. I mean, I worked at UBA and he was leaving and he said that, I'd like for you to plan my send forth. And I'm thinking to myself, there are other people in the industry, my leaders, like Adio and Dezakios, they've been here for years. You're asking me, no experience, just moved to Nigeria 3 years ago. You want me to plan your send forth? I felt like saying to him, do you know who you are? Right? Even now, if he asked me to do that, I'd still be very apprehensive, but he believed in me. And I think that's really what propelled me to say, okay, you know what? This person believes in me. Can I do this? And of course, we thank God for the opportunity that he gave at the time. That experience allowed us to be able to curate the story around he's leaving. This icon is leaving from an institution this level that he's at, and he's handing the baton on to someone else. How do we have an event that's not just decorations, lights, and everything else, to telling his story? Don't diminish the person. Tell his story in all its glory, and then also tell the story of Philip Odosa that's entering in. And it was a lot because this is now our first event, but it was that opportunity given that says you can do this. This person believes in you. Imagine, like every day I'm thankful. This person believes in you. Can you tell the story so that people in the room also see a different side of him, right? And thank goodness the first event done, and here he is. He has all of these dignitaries in the room, and it worked well. Thank goodness. And the next morning he calls and says, "Eunice, you did a phenomenal job. I knew you could do it." That gingered me. Like it's been gingering me ever since. Because it's just one of those things that we knew that we needed to start telling stories around brands and people. And I think that would be it from a event and experience perspective.
Yeah, that's good. So as the industry has evolved as well, how has your leadership evolved with that as well?
So leadership has changed over the years for me, and managing, first of all, the different types of people within the organization. Without the people, really, we're nothing. And every leader understands that. Every good leader, should I say, understands that. People have changed. So managing and managing people has changed within the system, but not just managing them, engaging with them has also changed. So as a leader, I've had to evolve how I engage with my Gen Z versus those who are in my own age bracket, because we've got that range. And so changing it within, as a leader, it's I've had to stay on my toes. That says, you know what, I need to be able to go out and hang out with my Gen Zs and what are they vibing with, right? Like I'm going to a rave. Why would I be at a rave at this age? But I want to be there because I've got my Gen Zs and I need to go to a rave with my Gen Zs, right? Or I'm going to go to a nightclub with my older folks, right? Or I'm going to go to a book reading, right? So and that helps me to be able to evolve my own leadership style, because I need to be able to blend with my current staff so that they're able to deliver the types of experiences that we want to deliver within the organization, because it's not just about me, it's the entire brand as Q21.
Yeah, that's very good. That speaks more to transformational leadership. You're not static, you're following the trends and also building and becoming better with it. That's really good. So if you are just joining us, you haven't missed much, but please stay on. This is Backstage Pass, your VIP access to the show behind the show. If you're not following our social media, you can join us on at backstagepass.hq and then share this link with your friends. You don't want to miss what we have left,
Yes.
right? You don't want to miss that. Okay, so let's talk about something, the evolution of Nigerian events.
Yes.
Okay. So you've witnessed transformation of our industry over 2 decades. Now, what are the biggest shifts that you have seen in how Nigerians experience live events?
The biggest shift is involvement. So what we are seeing now is more and more of the guests that are coming to live events want to be involved. They don't want to be observers. They want to know, how am I involved in this experience? Some would think that it's about taking your phone and taking a selfie or taking pictures. No, the involvement is, this is the brand, and how do I get involved in the brand? The guest is no longer a passerby, so just serve me food and I'll be okay. No. The discerning event goer is now wanting to be able to be a part of the experience. And then the discerning brands are wanting the event goer or to experience their brands in all of its glory or all of its essence. And that's changed significantly from before, where it was like, okay, just come, dance, jump up and down.
So you have performed art, so to say.
Yeah. Now they want to, like, they literally almost like they want to be other ones on stage. So let me perform, right? The advent of karaoke machines. But now let me perform. Let me be a part of it. Let me engage with your brand, and let me see if I can make your brand my own brand. Right? Which is that whole essence of when we got people to create their own cocktails. It was about that, because now that brand then becomes their own, and they own it, and they can tell a story around the brand. No longer just, I'm drinking because I'm drinking, right? This is mine.
I made this.
Yeah, right? It's a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
And so when you now are when you're now there and you're having to tell a friend or whatever it is, you're telling them from the perspective of, it's mine. So the new consumer wants to own your brand, not you own, like they want to own it.
So this takes me to my next question, which I think partly you mentioned something about one of the good things about the events industry in Nigeria is we have moved past decorations. So let me just take that. So there was a time when events focused primarily on entertainment and food, right? Decorations and food. So today, audiences expect immersion and participation. What changed?
I think people got bored of just food is food, right? Yes, we talk about the jollof rice rolls, right? But it's still food. And so you'll even notice now that chefs are thinking of food in an experiential way. So food is no longer, I just want to plate it. Now, how am I plating? Right? So everybody is creating that experience because we got bored. We got bored of the norm. And even now, when we're creating experiences, people are still getting bored, which is why you have experiential agencies that are trying to up the experience every time you do an event. We've had brands with us for years, and every time we do an activation, we still have to ensure that we are upping that experience. We are telling a different story with the same underlying value. How do you do that in a market where AI is taking over, in a market where everybody's doom scrolling through their phones? How do I get you to put your phone down and enjoy an experience? It's difficult for us to create those, but it's doable.
I like that. So in your own opinion, when did experiential marketing, when did it stop being a nice to have to being a necessity for brand communication?
I think in Nigeria, to be very honest, I think, honestly, it changed in like 2017. 2017, 2018, something shifted in our market here in Nigeria. I know the Canadian market shifted a bit earlier. The Ghanaian market shifted a bit earlier as well. But for us as Nigerians, it changed significantly. And I talk about those are markets that we're in, but it it shifted for us around that period. And then 2020 during COVID was a dramatic shift for us on the continent, because it then required us to be able to think outside the box in terms of engagement, right? Different platforms. You were no longer able to sit in a room like this and have a conversation. So how do I engage with a brand? If you can't come to an actual physical activation, how are you going to engage? Right. And it got us as the experiential agencies to now have to start to think of, how do I engage you even though you're not in the room? If you're not in the space. So I think those are the periods when things changed. And so that you're talking about 6-8 years ago of things changing. And oh my goodness, it was like, I would say like it's on steroids now.
Right now.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Because you cannot go to a proper experience and not have proper event, should I say, and not have an experience. That's what everybody's looking for now, because that's what's memorable. If you go to an event and you don't have an experience that's memorable, you would almost say that I wasted my time. Yeah.
Just think about this event.
Yes, with my time? Oh, no. Why am I wasting my time? Please, let's not go, right? So that's really where we're at now in terms of that evolution.
Okay. So looking at some of the productions that you've been part of or that you have created, AMVCA's Moonshot and some of the global brand launches, how has Nigerian creativity influenced the standard of event production across Africa?
I think we're the forerunners. We're always the forerunners, right? Forerunners from the perspective of people are copying us from the experience, right? Because we are, I don't want to say high maintenance, but because we're very astute and we are we consume a lot as Nigerians, when we're now doing productions, what's required of us is so much more. So when people are coming or brands are coming into the market, or you're trying to do an event for a brand, what has to happen is when you're thinking about it, how do I engage you at a different level? Because you've gone to almost 10, 20 events,
you've seen
even
so
in that
much.
month, you literally have been consumed with so much. How do I get your attention when you are then going to come to what AMVCA, which is called the Oscars of Africa? How do I get your attention? Besides the glitz and glamour of the lights, besides the outfits that people are dressed in, how do I get every single solitary person's attention to focus on the brand and not the people that are there? It's difficult, but you need to figure out those unique ways. One year we had butterflies. Another year we had motifs on the wall. The other year we created a backdrop that almost looked like it was 3D and coming to life. Right? One year for Martel, we had women that were a part of the painting in the wall, and they shifted. So as you walked by, the women in the painting shifted, and it caught your attention because, wow, hold on a second, that art moved, and people were gravitated towards it. One year we had people on a wall. So we had our hostesses sitting on a chair on a wall and engaging with you. So we had to think of, how do we up the stories and the experiences for what we're doing for that particular brand. So you focus on the brand, right? So our consumers are heightened in Nigeria. And so as experiential agencies, we're having to constantly up the game. But I'm super excited about my colleagues in the industry, because every time I see somebody do something, I'm sitting down there and I'm applauding because I'm like, this is good, right? We're moving. And there's no competition because there's just so much to be done. So it's absolutely amazing. I love it. I love watching what we create at Q21 Solutions, but I also love seeing what other people are doing in the industry, because it goes to show people that we are coming into the world. So like I said, for us, by us, right? We are telling stories, and I see different people telling our story in unique ways, and it's beautiful. Let us be the ones telling our stories, not other people.
Be the one. Yes. So let's talk about understanding the machine, this machine that delivers the experiences, and then exploring culture as strategy. So how do you translate African culture into experiences that resonate with both local and global audiences without losing authenticity?
It's first of all, it's understanding. So which is why we didn't focus on doing socials. We don't do socials at Q21 Solutions, because for us, it's about the brand. And the brand are twofold: the client's brand and then the people. So as Africans, we are a brand. Like, we are a brand. And we fail to realize that we are a brand. So in that essence, how do I bring two brands together and they don't compete, but they're able to complement each other? How do I do that? How do I ensure that the story from a Jamison side, right, or a AMVCA side is being told, and then also the story from Nigerians, right, or Ghanaians or Kenyans or Ethiopians are being told? How do I do that? I need to understand both brands. So I understand that the average Nigerian would want to sit and be engaging and communal and tell stories because that's what we grew up with, right? So how do I make sure when you come to an event, right, you're able to do just that? Because then I can connect with your soul. It's not just connecting with you on your surface. I connect with the inner being that's there. And when I connect with that at an event, you see the brand in a different light. So you will then see a Jameson. So when you're sitting down and you're playing Ayu at Jameson, it's not playing a deck of cards, because that's not who we are. Cards are there, yes, and we know how to play cards, but it's not who we are. The essence of who we are is we're weaving a basket. And you're weaving a basket, but you're at an event. How does that? You're painting and you're at an event. You're infusing us. You're actually doing ashoke at an event, or you're seeing how it's made at an event. You connect with that. But is the brand's ethos, so is a AMVCA, is a MasterCard, is a Google, is a Microsoft's brand that? If it's not, then there's a mismatch. But if it is, you've tapped into the brand's ethos, and then you've tapped into, quote unquote, the corporate brand's ethos, and then you've tapped into the personal brand ethos to bring them together to create an awesome experience that you walk away remembering. You don't see Q21 because we're always in the background, but you see and you connected the brand and you're like, wait a second, something happened here. There was a shift. That's it.
Awesome. I like the way you even say it's an experience.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between creating an event and creating an experience that people never forget?
So creating an event is light, sound, screens, everything works very well.
And food.
Well, yeah, no. Item 7 is necessary for our palates. Like, you cannot not go with item 7, right? So yes, they're important, and those things work very well. So it works. That's a brilliant event, that the sound doesn't crackle, that the lights don't fall, right? The stage is still standing. That's an amazing event. An experience is one like I just described. You are there and you feel the brand. Nobody is speaking about it. They're not talking on the stage, and they're not so nobody's holding a mic saying, this is what the brand is. No, but you feel it, and it's everything from the way that you connect with the music that's there, the way that you're connecting and you're seeing there's a smell that's in the background that reminds you of what Begiri smells like, and amala. And you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, hold on. That is that's a scent, or that's a node in this particular brand. You leave there, and the next time you eat amala and Begiri, you're like, wait a second.
You're connecting it.
You're thinking of the event. Note, I'm not selling amala, I'm not selling it. But I've connected that experience to, or I bring that nostalgic feeling of, I've done alo. And you're like, wait a second, these guys brought back. But in that alo, I've told you about my brand story.
Exactly.
I've told you about the brand story of how this brand started, where it's going, how you are connected to it. Immediately, you not only remember the alo, you remember that you felt that nostalgic feeling, and you never forget it. The next time somebody says alo, immediately you think of that brand. Immediately. I didn't advertise anything. That's an experience. So there's the difference. Light, sound work. Light and sound are also at an experience, but the experience reaches you in a place that is undescribable. And once you can do that, you've won.
That's fantastic. Let's approach this now from a brand perspective.
Okay.
So earlier I remember we spoke about the kind of experiences that were created at what's that show again?
AMVCA?
No. The foreign one where they curated different experiences.
Coachella.
Yes.
Yeah,
talked about Coachella.
We did. We talked about Coachella.
And some of the brands or the experiences that we saw online where like brands were very deliberate about the things that they did. So I'm curious to know, what Do you think the world's biggest brands understand about experiences that many organizations in Africa are still learning?
So, I can't speak about all of Africa, right? But I'll speak about the ones that
Closest.
the ones that we that are closest to us. One thing that they're missing is understanding that the community outweighs your brand. And I talked about this earlier this year on my social media page, and I described the way that as Africans, Nigerians in particular, where we need to get to from a brand perspective. Brands need to understand that it is now about communities. It's not about your brand. Your brand needs to play in communities. There's some brands that started to understand that a long time ago. And so they built communities, right? So Jameson built the Bearded Gang community up. Yeah. And they realized that's the community they wanted to have. They wanted to be in that space, and they tapped into that community and then let it blossom and grow, right? The more brands start to understand they need to be in communities, the more they would be able to see the impact of their brands. Coachella, the brands understood it. It didn't take away from Coachella. At all. Yes. They had separate brand activations that they owned. They went to go, like literally they were happening simultaneously, right? But they understood it because they realized, I want to be a part of Coachella, but I'm not coming to Coachella for Coachella. I'm coming to Coachella because I want their community. So they were willing to pay an arm and 6 legs to be a part of Coachella because they wanted the community. And so you'll find out now that more and more people are building communities. The likes of Creatorium, the likes of Polygon. They're building communities, and several others are building communities that are ones that if brands can connect early enough, to that, they will see their brand evolve, because it's there in those communities that you're able to now tap into people who want to be a part of your brand, who want to engage with your brand, because it's now organic. It's not forced. It's not forced.
Brilliant. So if you were to advise brands,
which we do,
so what's one investment that brands should never compromise on if they want people to remember an event long after it's over?
Something that they should never compromise on: the people that come to your event. So be particular. So brands talk about the factor that this is my target age range, right? So they'll tell you 18 to 35, and they can tell you those numbers, but it's not just about the age range. It's about the people in that age range. So do I want a female in that age range? So that when you now define who you want in that age range for your brand, people like experiential agencies can now say, how do I target that age range? So there was a brand that we knew was in the market, and we said to them specifically, you know what? People are forgetting women. Women drink. So why are you not going after the female drinker within your age bracket? And it's like, why? Our culture doesn't really allow, it frowns on it. But when we explain to them the reason why, and it's not because I'm female, by the way, because if you're thinking that, no, that's not the reason why. But we just understood that if you could tap into that market, right, into that demographic, your brand would not only sell, it becomes a point of reference for them and their friends and then their families. And so for me, I always say this to brands whenever we're talking to them. Yes, this is the demographic, this is the age range you're looking for, what the target audience for your brand. But within that target audience, who are the people you truly believe you want to speak to? And if they get that, if we have those conversations, if you don't miss out on them, then you'd be able to do more with your brand than you're actually doing. Because there are people within a specific demographic within that a brand has identified that'll be actually your mouthpiece. That you can reduce the amount of marketing that you have to do, because they'll be your mouthpiece. And that's really what you want. You want people to talk about your brand without it feeling like it was forced. Organic conversations. Once your brand can become an organic conversation starter, you're good to go.
You won.
Yeah, you have.
So talking about the future now, so as technology continues to reshape events, how do we ensure culture remains at the heart of the experience?
So our culture never changes in that sense. It evolves. I mean, I'm sure you even saw this one with the Ghana Must Go,
Yes,
right?
yes,
That
yes,
has
yes.
just blown up. We took it for granted. So we have so many areas of culture that we've taken for granted that regardless of where technology goes to, we can still follow. Because even if with AI, you can still then move with it, right? With the advent of everything that happens technology wise, our culture stories can still be told. It's just a matter of us being deliberate and intentional about it, right? So what is the new wave from a technology standpoint? Take that and then say, okay, how am I going to infuse my culture into it, right?
this.
How do I tell stories? I mean, earlier today I was with Abella, and she was telling the stories about sense and why she creates sense from our stories, and I was like, amazing. It resonated. You're creating sense from our stories. Who would have thought that? You're doing moi moi scent. Who like so, but you see that it evolved. That scents were important in the household, but she then said, how do I bring our stories into that? So regardless of how technology moves, I still think that we will always move with it, and it doesn't matter what technology does. Our culture will always be relevant. It's for us to just be intentional about it and never relegate who we are. We are too beautiful a people, and our culture is too rich.
It's too rich.
It's too vast. It's too rich and it's too vast.
I had a conversation with an elder in the movie industry. I mean, he lives in Abeokuta. Mr. Tunde Kelane.
Okay.
And something is said. So we're just talking about films and all that, and how, I mean, why is he sitting, just not moving out of the space of culture in almost everything he does? And he took me to his backyard. He said, see, there are all kinds of plants here. That's different things within our culture. He said in his lifetime, he cannot exhaust it. His children cannot exhaust it. None of us can exhaust it. So we need to just keep it on and on and on. And I appreciate that. Okay, so if you're just joining us, you're still watching Backstagepass, your VIP access to the show behind the show. And we've been speaking with Mrs. Eunice Adeyemi. I say Mrs. A. And it has been an amazing experience. Please, we will soon be going to the question session, and I want you right now to start dropping your questions in the comment space, whatever it is that you want us to answer. I mean, we are giving you a golden opportunity right now. So please start putting your questions in the comment section, and don't also forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at backstagepass.hq. Now let's go backstage a little.
Okay.
So what's one misconception people have about experiential marketing?
One misconception is that it's easy. It's not an experience you're creating. Yeah, simple now.
Just gather people, do like this.
Do a photo booth. It's an experience. I didn't lie. It's an experience.
Right.
You take pictures, you'll stand, you'll dance. Everybody, you're fine. It's an experience now. It's a photo booth. Do a photo booth. You're fine.
And
that is easy. Well, but it's way beyond that, right? So, and I think we were talking about this earlier, where I get it. Photo booths are nice. But I don't want just a photo booth. I want you to be able to experience the brand and want to take a picture and want to upload it on your page. And I want you to talk about being in the room. So for us, a successful event or a successful experience is when somebody sits, takes a picture and engages with something that we've curated in the room as an experience, and they post it and they tell a story around it. Those, for me, I've won in that moment. So for me, people have the misconception that it's easy. Just put a backdrop up, do 3D backdrop. It's fine. It's not a problem. No. There's more to it than just putting up a piece of branding. Right? No disrespect to my branders. I love them to death, right? But it's more than that. And it's a misconception that it's easy and that everybody can do it. Not everybody can do it.
Not everybody can
No,
do it.
not everybody can do it. There are colleagues in the industry of mine that I respect. When they create something, I'm like, I'm sending them a message. I'm like, oh my goodness, that was amazing. That's awesome. And I'm cheering them on because there's no
Yeah.
competition. I'm loving it because I see the experience they created for a
And the
brand.
amount of work and thought that has gone into that.
And I know how much work goes behind the scenes so that it's coming to life and I can see it. Or I'm sending a message saying, well done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So, what is the biggest lesson that global brands have taught you about producing world-class experiences?
The biggest lesson they've taught me is now my official mantra, collaboration. So I have seen major brands sit down and collaborate together and create amazing outcomes, right? This year, Swatch and AP did a collaboration, and I talked about it on my page. I was blown away again by a collaboration that didn't take away from both brands.
Yeah.
Both brands are strong in their own
Individually, yeah.
individual spaces, but when they came together and collaborated, it was magical. They've now tapped into a different market that is neither one of them could have tapped in on their own, right? For me, having worked with major brands that I have worked with, I found that collaboration has been behind those things. So we bring that to a lot of the stuff that we're doing now. Can I take a brand and have it collaborate with another brand? So we did that with AMVCA and Martell. They were both our clients, and AMVCA was like, oh, they're doing the after party. They want a sponsor for the after party. And immediately I'm on the phone and I'm like, guys, Martell, based on what you guys have said at the beginning of the year, this thing would absolutely be amazing for you guys. Client to client, have a conversation. And they had a conversation and it worked out beautifully for both brands. It's not about us because nobody knew about it. So it wasn't about Q21 promoting it. It was just about this collaboration would work well for both brands. Then let's move. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful, right? So collaboration has just shown us that it's wonderful when it's done well because both brands will be able to come together and bring strengths that they have, and thus then able to deliver what we deliver in the market is because we have amazing partners and amazing people that we collaborate with, even people who are in the same vertical as us. We collaborate with them because, like I said, there's no competition. And the moment we understand that as Africans,
the better will be.
Because the global brands understand it.
Okay.
Yeah, the global brands understand it and they're running with it. We're the ones still falling behind to say, oh no, my brand must be in front. Do you know who I am? If I knew you were, you wouldn't have to ask me if I knew you. Right? That's it for me. That's really it.
Okay, so if you could change one thing about the African event industry tomorrow, what would it be?
I think I've just touched on it. Yeah. If I could change one thing, it would be just that. Understand that it's not about you. It's not about you.
And there is no competition.
There's no competition, and it really is. Get out of your own way. Right? Because the moment you can do just that, you would be amazed at what you would actually create. When people look at the brand and they see Q21, they don't know the army that's behind us. There's things that we didn't build. I don't build certain things. I have people who do absolutely amazing jobs in that area. And therefore, I'm just tapping into it. It's what you do for a living. You do it very well. Please, let's collaborate. Let's do this thing together. And we can both gain in that. And it becomes what Stephen Covey calls a win-win. So just let's have a win-win. And then at the end of the day, what happens? The market wins. The brand wins. The consumer wins. Everybody's happy. And then we make money.
Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Right? There you go. So if I could change one thing about it, and I keep yelling it from the rooftop, I'm not sure if anybody's listening.
People are listening.
I hope so. But please, it is not about you. If you're in the business, you're in the business to provide a service. So provide that service and provide it with everything you have, because you need to leave a legacy behind. And you can't do it by yourself. No company, none whatsoever, was born and survives on their own. I'm so sorry. The big organizations, the corporate organizations you see across the continent, anywhere in the world, they have done one collaboration or the other with thank you. And they're still doing it. they're still doing it.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay, so we're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, it will be the audience question. So please put in your questions now. I'll see you right after.
We have 10 seconds to full readiness.
Today, we're exploring the evolution of the events industry from the lens of culture. And with us is Mrs. Eunice Adeyemi, and we have been on a good and fantastic ride so far. So the first question,
Yes.
Someone reached out and was talking about doing a conference, like a gathering of young people, something that brings a festival, rather, something that brings young people together and doing creative stuff. There will be master classes. There will be Q&A sessions. There will be pitch sessions. There will be multiple sessions, but they believe that the highlight for them of the events is the festival village, where they are able to create different experiences for brands, and then the young people that will gather there, the creatives, the people who are passionate about creating content, will be there, and they'll be able to interact with some of these things. How do you think they can go about this?
Okay, so for me, can I switch that around?
Yes,
though?
please.
And so oftentimes when you're doing or creating experiences or events, people think more along the lines of, they think in a particular way. For this one, if I had to advise the person, I would say flip the story around and have it that these content creators are creating content for brands, and have the brands then now review that content and make a selection. One, you're creating opportunities for them to reach brands that they otherwise wouldn't reach, and the brands themselves now find new content that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to reach either. And they would be excited because it's new, it's fresh, it's different, and then they can then pay for it. Nothing is for free, but they've created the content. So this festival creator or event creator can literally call the brands to come to the space, build out their booths, bring the product that they're trying to launch or whatever it is, and then get the community that's coming to actually then create the types of content. They can even mini brief, and they create that type of content, and then the content event owner can then they can actually put everything together and then give it to the client, for the client to then select which one they'd like, and then pay the person who created it, as opposed to doing a typical event where people come together.
That's brilliant.
I try. Thank you. That's
brilliant. Okay, so the first question, the other question here is one: are you big on mentorship?
Yeah. So I'm very big on mentorship from the perspective that we are getting older, right? And we want to make sure, and I think I touched on this a bit earlier, creating a legacy. Right? And so how do we create a legacy? It has to be one where you're able to impart into the next generation, or able to impart into people, and then them being able to carry forward the things that will shift and shape the industry, thus leaving a part of you in someone else who doesn't happen to be your child, right? Or your direct student or employee. So yes, I am big on mentorship. It takes time though, and sometimes it's not time that we have. So whoever wants to be a mentee also needs to be ready. Because if my staff will tell you anything, trust me, you are working hard. Smart. Yes, but you're working. Yeah, smart first, but definitely working around the clock. So you've got to be able to put the time in.
Okay, that's good. So how do you balance international production standards with preserving local culture?
They're one and the same. They're not different, right? And that's the mistake and misconception, people. Our standards should be world-class standard. We are the world. So our standard should be world-class standard. I'm not bringing it down to a level because we are Nigerians. So I'm not going to start an event 2 hours late because I need to factor in that we are Nigerians. No, you will come on time. Yeah. You're going to come on time.
I remember something I think you posted today, and about excellence being what we, as in like something extra. And I remember commenting, excellence needs to be the baseline.
Yeah.
That should be our starting point.
That's your starting point.
We shouldn't.
No, that is your starting point.
Yeah.
Because if you're starting from there, it can only go up. That you're looking for the little things that says, okay, was this thing positioned well? Right? Can I present this thing and be proud of it? So yeah, the excellence is the baseline.
Okay, one other question. How has Nigerian culture influenced the way events are produced today?
We've had to adapt in terms of, so when I create events here in Nigeria versus the other countries that we're in, we've had to adapt in terms of understanding the nature of the person coming to the event. I talked about time. And so what we've had to do is, for us, our mandate is our event hall is ready 3 hours before an event. It's difficult to do, but we've set that standard for ourselves so that a client can come in and make any changes that they want to. That's one, right? And we're able to fix it within the time frame. But we're also mindful now that when you know it's a Q21 Solutions event, we're going to be on time. So we have clients who say, don't worry. We know they don't ask us, will you be ready? No, they know we're going to be ready. So their guests come on time. So we've shifted the dynamics but we had to understand the Nigerian mentality and actually start to train our clients that don't worry. Our watchword is 3. It used to be 2 hours. And then I pushed my staff to make it 3 hours. They still like to kill me every now and then, but it's 3 hours. So if our clients know that it's 3 hours, then the guests that they're inviting know that you're going to be ready. Because the fear is that it's not going to be ready. Maybe we're going to start late. Yeah. No, we start on time, always. We always start on time. Something's going to start. Something's going to be on stage, and we curate it. Even if you're waiting for a diplomat to come, we've weaved it in, and we've created a way in such a manner that even if a diplomat is coming and he or she is giving your keynote address, you know that you've got to wait for them to give the keynote address. Oh no, we create content until that person arrives in the room. But you're not like, oh, I waited 3 hours and I'm just
nothing's going on.
There's an experience happening. There's something happening.
Fantastic.
So we've infused that into the content we are creating for the event so that, quote, our Nigerian factor does not come into play.
I like that. I'm sorry, audience. We've run out of time for this section, but let's just, if you have more questions, please put it in the comment space. We'll try and get Mrs. A to respond to you there. Thank you. So this session, we call it the rapid fire session.
Ooh.
Where we ask a question. You only answer with one word or maximum one sentence, not longer than that.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go. Heritage or innovation?
Heritage.
Fantastic. Local insights or global trends?
Local insight. Okay. Do you want me to expand on it? Why? Because this is
no. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
So, emotion or technology?
Emotion.
Conference or festival?
Festival.
So what's one cultural element Nigeria should showcase more often?
Our languages.
Which African city inspires you creatively?
Oh my word. 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 African city? Oh, this is a tough one. Oh, goodness gracious. Benin City.
Nice. Benin City.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, goodness.
One event trend that's here to stay.
One event trend that's here to stay. Our music.
Absolutely. One trend you hope disappears forever.
I love it. One trend that I hope disappears forever? Lateness?
You know, that was running in my head. As you were thinking, lateness. Okay, so One word that defines great leadership.
Uniqueness.
Uniqueness. Fantastic. So finish this sentence. The future of African events is.
The future of African events is us.
So we're back to for us, by us. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you would do a brief explanation of some of the things that you said together as one. You said heritage in place of innovation, local insight in place of global trend, emotion in place of technology, and festival in place of conferences.
So everything revolves around culture. So our emotion is cultural. Our heritage is our culture, right? Festivals allow us to be able to express our culture over a period of days or for some time. So it all stems back to, at the end of the day, our culture itself will weave through all of these things. Innovation comes and it goes. Our heritage is our heritage. There's so much about it that we still need to talk about, right? You could talk about it till thy kingdom come, like you said earlier, right? So I would not. Emotions are something that a friend of mine used to say that they're transient, but it's an emotion nonetheless. And once I can connect with your emotion, you remember it. So I don't need to do anything else. A festival allows us to express who we are, right? So when you go to a festival, you're able to express yourself in that space. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't do a conference. A conference doesn't allow you to participate as much as a festival would, right? Yeah, which is why we do Multicultural Festival. But it's an expression of who you are when you come to a festival. Yeah.
I like that. As you said that, it also reminded me of a statement. I'm not sure exactly who said it. That people will forget what you said, or what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Never. You will never forget how I made you feel. You will never forget how a brand made you feel, right? You never forget how a hostess made you feel, a receptionist, a waiter in a hotel, in a restaurant. You never forget those moments. You never forget your first child being born. You never forget your first heartbreak, because those are emotional things that have happened, but it's something you will forever remember. You may replace the emotion, but you never forget about it.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you for the fireside.
You did well.
Ooh, that was scary.
Okay. So let's talk about legacy.
Okay.
Legacy.
Yes.
You have influenced some of Africa's biggest production, no doubt. Now, beyond events themselves, what legacy do you hope you've built for the industry?
So the legacy that I hope that I've built, I've talked about earlier, which is this collaboration and no competition. And every time we do something, we want to make sure that legacy stands true. So I will collaborate with a brand that is doing excellence in their field. If you are doing your job, quote unquote, to the highest level and constantly wanting to up your performance and your delivery, then I want to collaborate with your brand. So you're an MC and you're wanting to evolve beyond that. Great. I want to collaborate. I want to have you as one of my clients on one of my clients' events. If you're a sound person and you're constantly looking for excellence and you've delivered that time and time again, I want to have you provide us with sound. If you're doing production and you're doing such a phenomenal job in terms of managing backstage, pun not intended, right? I want you to be a part of our events because one, it gives you, if you're an up and coming brand, it gives you an opportunity to work on a brand that you otherwise wouldn't have. And you can post it on your page that, oh, by the way, I worked on this brand, right? You've tagged us, but that story now becomes your own. And I'm a part of your story. So when you talk about your brand, and there's several brands that are like that now, and I'm happy about that, right? But that's the legacy I want. I want to leave that when you tell the story of your brand, the same way that I was able to sit here and say that Q21 started with TOE believing in us. That's the legacy he imparted into Q21. That is a story I'll forever tell on every platform, right? And the doors he opened just from us doing that event. It's not by happenstance. That's who he is. So I want to create a legacy where people will be able to talk about their brand and their story and they remember Q21. Not Mrs. A, but Q21. I always say I am not the brand. The brand stands on its own.
Yeah.
You know, Mrs. A is the lady with the red hair, right? Q21 has a life of its own and is delivering excellence. Be associated with the brand, not the person. The person will go, but the brand will be here.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So, still on legacy, if a young woman watching today dreams of building the next generation, the next great experiential agency in Africa, what's the one mindset she must develop?
The one mindset she must develop is the mindset that has grit. And it's because in this industry, you will be knocked down.
Yeah.
You will be abused, right? You will have people say that you are doing something that you're not doing, right? And as a female, they will say either you slept your way to the top, you have a grandfather somewhere, you've collected bribe, or you're giving bribe. You need to have that grit that says, I know within my Noah that this is what I'm doing. I am not collecting a bribe. I am doing the work I need to do. I did not sleep my way to this position. I can deliver excellence at its highest. And once you have that mindset going in, you shake, but you never fall. Because then you now know, you know what, it's okay, I can get back up, right? Understanding that you are excellent. So people need to get this as women in particular. We are amazing, beautifully created creatures of God, and we can do anything we set our mind to.
Very true.
And once we understand that, truly, the sky's the limit. And we need more of the women in this space, holding briefs for production, holding briefs for experiential marketing, holding brief for marketing as a whole, holding briefs for brands. And you're seeing more and more of that because we're playing more of those roles. And I'm excited about that. I just need them to have that confidence. And then when you get to what society calls the height of it, remember to help the next woman that's coming up.
Very good.
Because we need to open doors for each other.
Very good, very good, very good. It has been a ride.
I'm so glad.
Today. So I'm going to take the very last question.
Okay.
In a way, it still touches on legacy.
Okay.
So when the lights go out, when the stage comes down, when the audience go home, what do you hope is the lasting cultural impact of every experience that you create?
I learned something. That's easy to answer. I learned something. Because if you have experienced something and you've learned something, tomorrow you will talk about it. Human nature wants
to share.
Thank you. We want to share. We thirst for knowledge. It seems like people say that, oh, no, we thirst for knowledge. Why do you doom scroll? You doom scroll because you're looking for something. Yes, some people will say that they're bored, but you're looking for something. And when you see it, you repost.
Exactly.
You like.
Very
because
true.
You've seen something that has piqued your interest.
Yeah.
So after every experience, when it's all said and done, I want to make sure that you can say, I learned something, whether it's about the brand, whether it's about the culture, whether it's about yourself. I learned something and I left learning something. And that in itself would be amazing because you would always say, oh, I learned something new. You would try and remember, wait, where did I learn this thing? I learned this thing somewhere. And then remember, oh, it was at this event. Okay. And if you're inquisitive enough, like I find some young people, they'll dig through and then you will find who did the event. Because 99% of our business is referrals. And I love that part of it, right? Because it's not about Q21 at an event. It is about the experience and the client's brand. So yeah, that would be it. Lights out. You've learned something. Which is why I hope everybody's done at this. For this one here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mrs. A. It has been a great learning curve for me as well. Obviously that impact, is happening. That thing that you said is happening. Audience, I hope you enjoyed yourself. And that's our Backstage Pass for today. A huge Thank you to our guests, for taking us behind the scene and sharing insights, challenges, and lessons that makes this industry so fascinating. We love that. There's one thing that we've taken away is that great events don't just happen by chance. They happen because talented people work together to make the impossible appear effortless. Yeah. So we'd love to hear from you. What was your biggest takeaway today from this conversation? Please put it in the comment space. It's important. Also, if you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. Also, turn on your notification and ensure that you don't miss this opportunity, an opportunity for us to go behind the scene with us on our projects, on these things. Yeah. Right. Don't keep this access pass to yourself. What you need to do now is share this episode with your friends, colleagues, event enthusiasts, and creatives, or anybody who is just interested in knowing more about this. Remember, what we do here is we show you how it works, exactly how it works. I am SA, and this has been Backstage Pass, your VIP access to the show behind the show. See you next time.
We have 10 seconds to full readiness.